Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Insta-Good Show. Starting off with a bang today. It's Seth. You can find me at Seth Muse on Instagram or sethmuse.com. Catch me there. Also, you can find me at churchcomteam.com if you want to hire an entire team of professionals to help you execute communications for the price you might pay for one full-time staff member. So hopefully we can help you out with that. So check that out. Today on the Insta Good Show, I wanted to jump right in with what I'm calling a news flash. News flash. It is getting crazy in here, man. Let me tell you something. So here's what's going on. Facebook is being sued by the government. Like America is suing Facebook right now. It's insane. Probably needed. Probably necessary, but Facebook is being sued right now. And why is that something to talk about on the Insta Good Show? Well, I will tell you. I get this information from an email I follow. He's an insider, and it's called The Platformer. It's Casey Newton. I get a lot of good information from his email because he has worked with Facebook and he's connected up there with those guys and can tell you a lot of great info. Hey, Adam, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. I wanted to share some facts about this lawsuit that's going on. So here's the deal. I wrote some notes, so I'm gonna make sure I tell you all the right things. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, is suing Facebook with antitrust issues, basically for being a monopoly. And it's kind of time, but I don't know that a lot will come of this. But here's the big deal. 46 states, including DC and Guam is getting in the mix to say that they're trying to force Facebook to divest their some of their interest. And one of those is Instagram. Instagram, WhatsApp, they want them to sell them off, divest. You might have heard this kind of stuff when we were talking about TikTok. Divest TikTok. So ByteDance owned TikTok, and they were Chinese owned, and the president wanted them to divest TikTok and sell it. And what's happened with that? Who knows? I don't know what's going on. Publicity stunt, probably. But there was a lot of shakeup that happened there. But now we're turning our attention with the government. And this isn't the president doing this. This is 46 states led by Letitia James. If you know Letitia James, she gets who she's going after. Okay, so she's going after them hard. And she's one of the primary prosecutors. I think she's the AG of New York. She's leading this charge. So here's the deal. They're charging Facebook with antitrust issues, basically for being a monopoly and being good at monopoly. And so what they're doing, and this comes 6 months after a lawsuit they filed against Google as well for doing the same things. So they're basically going after big tech, and this could really shake things up. I don't think they're going to make them. I don't think they'll actually succeed to divest. It'd be cool if they did. I think they need to sell Instagram because I'm tired of Facebook owning everything too, because Facebook's everything. And so I don't like some of the things they've done with Instagram, but that's just my opinion. So here's the deal. They've determined that social media with an advertising as income model is a defined market. So what that means is market space, right? And Facebook has literally cornered the market, meaning that they forced other competition out, or they've bought it up, or they've copied it and put it out as their own. Instagram is one of the flagship programs for all of that. That's why we're talking about it on the Insta Good Show, is that Facebook is forcing out competition and they've maintained a monopoly on social media. You think about it. Who else does social media like Facebook? They have Instagram, they have WhatsApp, and that's the other one they're trying to get them to sell. Facebook My Life. That's funny. That's really funny. So they force other competition out, or they buy it up, or they copy it. And we've all been like, ugh, but then they give us something we like and we kind of ignore it and go for it. And that's kind of our bad. But they've also, here's the other part. They've also limited a lot of third-party access to coding in Facebook or even the API. And if you work with in the church world, which you do, and if you work for other clients like I do, I can tell you, I say pretty much on a daily basis, I hate Facebook so much because I deal with Business Manager, connecting it to Buffer or connecting it to whatever else. And it's just always hard. It's always hard. And then if you get in the world of Instagram, my Lord, how long did it take them before we could post automatically to Instagram from something like Buffer? this is why. They've cornered the market. They want to keep it locked down. And the government now is saying, not cool, bro. Not cool at all. So the other stipulation for this lawsuit is that Facebook in the future would have to, any other acquisitions, any other things that they would buy, such as a Facebook or a TikTok copy, which has been in the works for a long time, and now is released as Reels and Instagram. They will have to get FTC approval before they can buy those things, which I think is a good idea. And when companies get too big like this, that's what happens. They start getting to where, like Walmart, there's rules and stuff where you can't just buy whatever. And we think we live in this country where it's like free business, do whatever you want, capitalism. But there are rules when you get so big that you have enough money, power, and influence, you can actually stomp out competition pretty easily and keep your income and keep others from like competing with you. So that's what they're trying to do with Facebook. Now, the Facebook response has been this. Antitrust law years ago hasn't changed, right? And when they bought IG and they bought WhatsApp, or I think they developed WhatsApp, but when they've bought all these things and done all these things, they were questioned but allowed to do them. And so they're saying, well, nothing's changed. You can't rewrite history. Why is it suddenly a problem? Which is a fair argument, but I think we're in a position now where we've seen how Facebook can be used. That's what's changed. So do I think that they're going to actually be able to stop Facebook and force them to divest? Gosh, probably not. It'll be in court for years. Facebook's a huge corporation. It's hard to defeat people with lots of money and lawyers. We've seen that a lot, right? So it is hard to get them to go away in the way that you want them to go away. So they're not going to do that. But what it might do is slow them down from crushing future competition as they have, or at least put restriction on it where they can't just buy things up. So that's kind of the news flash for today. I thought that was a really interesting deal. I really like this type of stuff. I don't know if you do, but I find it to be really, really interesting when you see kind of the behind the scenes of what's going on in big tech, because that's what Instagram, Facebook is. And now it's going to affect us. These things affect us, how we use the platform. And wouldn't you like to see, and I would like to see, the Instagram API open up to many more third-party users so that they can integrate better with websites and third-party schedulers, etc., to make it easier to use within your own ecosystem of platforms and programs that you're trying to do for your church, for your business, whatever. So I think it's positive that this is happening. It's been coming for a while. I think Google, who owns YouTube, which is really the only competitor social platform, which really isn't social in the way Facebook is social. Facebook and Instagram are kind of unique. Now, I know there's things like Parler and other things that are popping up. I don't think those are going to survive very long. They'll be here. It's kind of like, I don't know. Twitter's also in this game as well, but Twitter's very different, and it's one of the few that operates differently. But there's not a lot else. There's not a lot of other platforms, and there's not a lot of up-and-coming platforms. And the ones we have, what was the one a few years ago where everybody was jumping on it, and then it just didn't work very well? I can't remember what it was called. Hit me up in the comments. You remember what that was called? It's like with a V, I think. I jumped on it. I never could get it to actually load anything. And I'm not going to Parler for, lots of reasons, but I don't even have one. I'm not going to have one. I don't even want to see what's going on over there. Anyway, there's just not a lot of competition when it comes to social media. It really is a monopoly in a lot of ways. Vero, thank you, Adam. Vero crappy is what it was. It's not around anymore. So that's the news flash for today. Okay, so let's let's look at some post breakdowns today. I wanted to go through 5 posts that I thought were really good, really well done, and I wanted to talk about why they were good. So here we go. I'll share my screen and we'll just go through the glorious desktop version of Instagram for this screen share. So here we go. Boom. All right. So this first post is from Pearl Street Church. Pearl Street Church is a decently sized church. I really like these guys on their social. But what I love about this post is it's a standard photo, and I'm pretty sure this was taken from an iPhone, so anyone can take this photo. But I love the writing of the passage on it. So the way you do this is you have like either you might have like a little pen board. You know, if your graphic designer has a one of those things with like, I forget what they're called, a pen and it's a pad, and they can actually write onto the screen. You can do that. That's how you do it. It's the easiest way to do it. Or it's a font and you have to twist and move things in Photoshop or in Illustrator, however you want to do it. Some handheld like phone apps, you know, mobile apps and stuff will do this sort of thing. But this looks like it was drawn on. That's actually the easiest way. So if you have a designer that can do this, adding this little small element, you may have seen them draw like halos around people or outline a person, you know, just random little things. I think that's a really interesting art form that social media has developed over the last year or so. And it says living close to the kingdom is living out the commended commandments. I don't understand the context of that, so I wish the caption had a little more context so I could understand if I didn't go there. So it's a little insider. But the image itself I really like, and I like how that plays out in the actual aesthetic of it. So I thought that was a really great post, although the caption probably gets a B minus, probably a C plus, honestly, on the caption, just because I should start grading these. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Just because there's not a lot of context here. So if you want to reach new people in the community, think like they don't have a clue what you do. And that's one of the things for me working at church comm team for other churches that are in other states or other places. I often get requests to do social media and I have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm supposed to write a caption for them. And I'm like, what is this thing? I don't know who this is for. I don't know when. Is this an event? Is this a, you know, it's like I don't have all that context because they've written it like I go there already and I already know. And so when you write your captions, it's helpful to remember there's going to be people that don't see it. Don't assume that everyone who sees this already goes to your church and is clued in and knows exactly what you're talking about, because they don't. All right, so that's post number one. Let's go to the second one. This is from Church of the City, New York, probably in New York City. I like this post because it's what I call a microblog. Again, it's what is peace and how do we achieve it? Okay, so this is a cool post. When you slide through, it actually does a little blog effect. And this is a cool post that you can take blogs, or if you find a blog you like, use it to make this into a post. Use the headlines. All the images are the headlines. So they give in Sunday's message, Pastor John talked about two kinds of peace. One's external, one's internal. When we place our hope in this world, it leads to temporary and fragile peace. When we fix our eyes on God and put our trust in Him, we achieve the kind of deep inner peace that defines any circumstances. And then they have their hashtag cloud here. So that is a really great caption. It gives me a lot of insight to what I'm about to read. And then when you click through, our search for peace, look, they've got this basic understanding here, a little blurb, another little blurb. What is peace? In the Old Testament, the Hebrew word for peace is shalom. Look, this is great. External versus internal, inner peace. Now, the one criticism I would have of this, I love the art behind it. I love the aesthetic of this. It's a little too wordy. Like you got a little bit too much here. I would say go to about here and stop with the summary if you can, just to get enough that you can move on to the next page. This is okay, and this is okay. And they give you, to help you meditate on these themes, sign up for our Advent devotional by clicking Advent resources in the link in our bio. That's good. I might have added a little graphic that says go to the bio to call it out a little bit more, but that's still a really great post and easy to do. One of the tricks I use for when I do an album post like this, it looks like what they did. Look, watch the background. What? Look at it. When you slide, it's one image connected across that whole thing. So what they do is bring it like Photoshop. You design the one big thing and you use slices to create that. Or you can just, I don't know, I think you can do something like that in Canva. When I do it in Canva, I take one image and I just zoom into different parts of the image for each slide, and then use the whole image for like the cover and the end. And that's an easy way to do it too. So use one of the free images in Canva and just zoom. It's really easy. All right, church home. Church home, I wanted to, I don't know that you can hear. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this post. This is an announcement post. Community update. Excited to it. Oh, here, let me get this.
For listening, letting us share a moment with you that we're really excited about. And that is that we realized as the church is continuing to
Let's do a minute
expand
here.
and we're looking for a new way to do church, we also realized that that impacts the way that our church government is set up.
Yeah.
There is a word. But
True.
government and the structure of our authority and accountability.
Okay, so a couple of things about this post. I want you to just take notice of how they did it. This is a large church that really has embraced the digital space. Okay, and this is, I believe, Judah Smith. But yeah, I think it is. There's Joel Houston from Hillsong applauding on there. Oh, and there's Cliff. I know Cliff. What's up, Cliff Caesar? All right. So anyway, take notice of this background. It's they're clearly like in a backstage area. They're just on a couch. I don't know if you heard the audio. I'll play it again in a second. Not awesome. But these are the senior pastors just wanted to talk to their people. And I think this is a really great way to convey information. It's 3 minutes, 24 seconds. So they had to upload to IGTV and put a preview on the feed to get this on the feed of their Instagram. But people will watch this kind of thing if it's compelling, but they're just talking. And they're on a couch with a curtain in the background. You can even see over here on the side, you can see like this rack of clothes. What is even going on here? They're not putting, they're not trying to make it perfect. That's the point. They're just coming to you and talking in a regular space that looks normal. And listen to the audio again.
It really is a big deal to us, and making sure that that is reflective of where we're going is very important. So we wanted to let you know about those changes.
Okay, so basically here's the deal. That is a phone set up on a stand, then they're just capturing audio from wherever that phone is. That's what they're doing. And this is a huge, I say a huge quote, huge pastor, and I'm assuming it's his wife. And they're talking about what's going on in their church, government, whatever, the government of their church. They're talking about all this stuff, and dude, they're not in a professional studio. So it can be done. Here's how a good way to do it. They still have good lighting. They have decent audio. They have a decent set, but really they're talking to their people. And that's a big deal. That's why that's a great post. And that's why I encourage people to do this kind of thing. You're never too celebrity to do this. Okay. So you can do it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Post number 4, we'll break down. This is from 12 Stone Church. This is one of those really engaging type posts that is Christmas related. Pick your favorite Christmas story. 1, 2, 3. So here's a bunch of people. 2, Polar Express. 2 for show. Polar Express. Charlie Brown. Hello. That's not on there. Thank you. Even though that should have been. Look at all these. This is great, and I can go in further and further. But 12 Stone is a big church, but this is a highly engaging post that's fun that any church can do. Just put up what's your favorite Christmas movie, or say here, I like the one where you have like 9 different movies in a little square. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like a little square screenshots of each one with a number, and it says 9 movies, 9 Christmas movies. You can only pick 3. Which ones? And they pick and tell us why. That's fun. Those are great engagement posts. Those still work really well, even for Instagram. They work great on Facebook as well. But if you can ask a question or even tie it into favorite Christmas story, come hear our the best Christmas story at our Christmas service or whatever. Tag that on the end of your caption. Because you can always add that little something, right? You can always add that little CTA if you can. Because even if they ignore it, they still enjoy the post. Anyway, I thought that's a great post. What favorite Christmas movie, favorite Christmas song, best Christmas tradition that your family has, favorite ornament on your tree. What do you go see family, or do they come see you? Are you going anywhere this time because of rabid killer disease? What are you doing? Those types of things can be great questions to start conversation. And right now people are online a lot, so anything we can talk about that's not everyone's dying or politics would be really, really great. So put that out there in the world, put some positivity on it. All right, last one, Gwinnett Church. I wanted to show you this because this is Gwinnett Church does posts that nobody else does, and they're so easy, and I love that about them because they're so laser focused on their mission, and that is to be for people. And when they do that, they highlight people. And this is one of the posts that I wanted to show you, is this lady in their church. It's a great post. All right, here we go.
I am originally from Egypt. We moved here 10 years ago with my husband and my son. And I'm making a dish today that we like to bring for dinners or Christmas or any kind of occasion. It's called goulash. I'm gonna saute the onions in a little bit vegetable oil.
Okay, they are literally doing a cooking video on their social media. Literally doing a cooking video. She's from Egypt. She's from Egypt. She's making Egyptian goulash, or I can't even say it how she said it. I'm terrible with that. But she's teaching you how to make a dish from her homeland because she's a member of that community, and they're highlighting some different things about their people. That's amazing. And it's shot so well because, they have incredible, teams and video teams and stuff to make this top-down shot like they've got here, and the quick, like, you saw the ingredients populate really fast, and that's so well done. I mean, and then it gives you this great, look at this. Here's the recipe in the caption of everything they talk about. Oh my gosh, just come on. And they tagged her in it, also important. Let's watch. And
then I'm going to add the beef, brown a little bit, and then I'm going to start putting the spices.
Getting hungry now. Oh man. Oh, got some cayenne pepper. Oh yeah, whole stick of butter. That's Texas right there.
So back in the day, my parents bought this when I was born. When you have a girl, usually
that's an old pan.
Kitchen utensils, curtains, anything you might need in the house. So this is one of the things my mom bought.
She say that's a curtain?
Years ago. So it's as old as I am. So that's why
curtains in the house. No, she's not.
Good.
It's like, she's not putting curtains in the pan, is she? I'm dumb. Okay. So, what a great post, right? Cut into squares, then, ooh, come on.
And I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, we're going to love it.
That is so good. Hey, going to church, you have got to try this recipe. Hi,
oh my gosh, I'm going to go make that. That's incredible. I love to cook. The quarantine has caused me to look for new things to do with my hands. Like, people like to create things, play instruments and stuff. And I like that, but cooking has become fun. And my wife is like, stop spending money. We don't have it. So, this is a great post, man. And this simply highlights their people, which is a huge picture of their vision for their church, what God is doing in their church. Highlighted not only the people, but a diverse image of the kingdom here, which is really valuable. They're in the heart of like suburb Atlanta, and they didn't ask you for anything. They didn't ask you for anything in this post. Sometimes we take for granted how much a simple dish means for us. This is my favorite one. Here's the giant recipe, and enjoy. So lots of people talking about it. Yes, lots of people wanting it. Great post. Just a great post all the way around. So that's the last one I had for you. But I hope that those posts are helpful for you to figure out like some interesting new things for you to do in your church. If you have somebody in your church that is from another country or has an interesting dish, or even if they're just great at Southern cooking or, indigenous cooking for your area, hit them up and say, let's do a recipe. What do you got? Or maybe just start a Pinterest board and tag people in it to create recipes that are great for Christmas or great for the holiday times. It's not hard to do. And we make social media so difficult, and it's just really not difficult. It just takes a lot of time. It's easy, honestly, to come up with the ideas if you just start thinking, okay, what do my people really care about? How can I help them? How can I bring value into their life? What's happening right now in the world, and what do they really need? They're lonely, they're tired of bad news, and they're hungry. And so we can fix those. We've got answers to those. All right. So last, the hot take of the day. A hot take of the day. All right. So earlier I talked about how, we were talking about what's happening with Instagram. There are some things that Instagram does. Here's my hot take of the day. There's always been this question about how long a comment length. We saw all these comments and these others. Some of them are really short. We're like, does that really count? So there's a debate whether or not, your comment length matters. to counting as engagement or not. And according to Instagram and according to how their algorithm works, no. Whether you put up a smiley face emoji or you write a book in a comment, they count as engagement the same as far as the algorithm is concerned. Here's the catch. But as far as people are concerned, one is definitely more valuable than the other. And I say my hot take is don't leave people hanging in the comments. Even if all you can do is send back a response that's an emoji and that's appropriate, then send the emoji. That's it. As a church, don't leave people hanging and commenting on your page. One thing I love about Gwinnett Church is when I scroll through a lot of those, there's always, whenever somebody comments, there's a bunch of replies from Gwinnett Church saying, thanks, smiley emoji. We love this too, wink emoji. You know, they're just responding. And sometimes that will start a cascade of conversation. Sometimes it won't, but it makes people feel valued and seen. And even if you don't get a long conversation, because we're not going to go do deep thoughts and stuff on here, but it is going to make people valued. And that's my hot take of the day, is that if you're leaving people kind of just hanging out there, they've said something, it's like leaving them on red, right? You've seen them, but you didn't say anything back. Why? Why not? It takes all of 3 seconds to come up with an emoji response and just let them know, saw you, thanks, love it. Like the comment, hit the emoji, move on if you don't have anything to add. But if you have something to add, thanks for doing that. Love you too. Hope you're doing well. Glad you guys are here. Whatever. Some kind of encouragement. Just let them know that, man, you didn't forget that they're out there and forget that they're human and that they need some kind of interaction. But it's not hard to do. And I think that's honestly probably, I'm going to make a wild guess here, 60 to 70% of successful engagement rates on Instagram is just you doing that. It's not as much about that content and getting the conversation as it is engaging in the conversation yourself. So we want them to do something we're not even doing. And that's not right. So engage, talk back, give them an emoji. Send them some kind of confirmation that you saw them and you cared enough to say, what's up, man? Thanks for doing that. So speaking of that, thank you for watching today. Hope that you've enjoyed the Insta Good Show, and we'll be back next week, Lord willing. And then we'll probably take some time off for Christmas and be back in the new year, which let's pray together that 2021 is nothing like 2020 and much better than 2020 in so many ways. So you guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you around. Later.